Hello everybody. I'm Stefano Del Prato, and I'm here today to have this conversation with two good friends of mine, Professor Chantal Mathieu and Francesco Giorgino. The 2025 is coming to its end, and with that, a new leadership of the European Association for the Study of Diabetes is taking over. I personally experienced such a critical time and always believe that the handover process is a critical one as it must ensure continuity, yet opening into a new vision. So for me, it's really a great honor to facilitate this conversation between the outgoing EASD, President Professor Chantal Mathieu, and the incoming President, Professor Francesco Giorgino. But let's hear from them how they see themselves in their past, the present, and future roles. Chantal, Francesco, you've been given a lot of time for the EASD. What has the EASD given back to you? And what does that mean to you professionally and personally? Chantal, let me start with you.
Well, I've been in the board of the ESD for several years, also vice president under you, Stefano. So I've been walking in the footsteps of great people before me. But what I have learned from ESD is the importance of working together as a community to advance the field of diabetes, going from excellent research that you cannot do alone, where you need collaborations, to the implementation of everything we've learned in our research to the clinical care of people living with diabetes. So what ESD has given to me is really the conviction how important excellent, serious research is, and how important collaboration in this research is to advance care of people with diabetes. So this feeling of community, this feeling, I would even say, of family is what ESD has given to me. And also, you know, as board member and president, a big feeling of responsibility in leading this global organization.
Thank you very much, Chantal. So I think the main message here is we needed to team up to really to face, what is going to challenge us in the future. Francesco, what about you?
Well, I've been in the board for a much shorter time, but I would just echo what Chantal mentioned. First of all, of course, ESD is really a strong, very prestigious organization, has a lot of activities, spanning from pursuing excellence in diabetes science and care to broad scientific exchange, networking, high quality medical education, research training, dissemination of all these contents. So it's really unique, in its history of taking care about how to develop knowledge around diabetes. So it has been for me a great opportunity, a unique opportunity to immerse myself in all of this, and also to appreciate how ESD can shape its mission even further. So I also experienced, very well the nice feeling of working in a team with same goals, same sort of ambition, trying to do always better and better, and to feel like part of a community. This has been really very important and already rewarding to me.
Yeah, and I think this is really much needed because much has changed over the past few years, particularly, after the COVID pandemic. Chantal, you may remember something of it, isn't it? And but I also still remember from those time, the long and passionate discussion on how to reshape the ESD and to make the ESD able to face the challenges of an evolving environment. And Chantal, you and I actually started such a discussion. So let me ask you, how do you see the role of the ESD evolving in this new diabetes landscape?
Yes, I mean, to me, it's the most exciting time ever, because we are at the crossroads where our research has led to better insights in pathophysiology of all forms of diabetes, where we are, as I said in my presidential address, at the brink of being able to go towards precision medicine and thus personalized approaches, in therapy, for instance, of people living with diabetes, with disease-modifying therapies coming to the forefront, type 1, type 2. It's a different world, and it's all the more important to have research to push these advances even further. But the world is different. Diabetes is still a disease in itself, but more and more embedded in the bigger picture of obesity, of cardiometabolic diseases. Also, the people doing the research are changing. We put a lot of effort on the young emerging profiles in EASD. They are different when it comes to their approach to research, but also their approach to life. And work-life balance becomes more of a discussion. And so we had to reimagine the way we organize education, the way we organize our meetings, putting emphasis on virtual attendance of education activities, the launching of e-learning, podcasts, etc. But we also discovered, Stefano, that especially also the younger generations value face-to-face contacts. And so our annual meeting, that is one of the highlight activities of our organization, has even become more important. Yes, virtual attendance possible, but face-to-face attendance so appreciated. We were more than 14,000 people this year, and there's a reason for that. Interaction, especially also for the younger generations, becomes even more important. So this evolving face not only of diabetes, but also of the people involved in research and clinical care is the big challenge for the future. And I believe that EASD has tried to embrace this, offering different formats of education, different formats of interaction. And I hope Francesco will continue to work in that direction.
And actually, let me also ask Francesco. Francesco, how do you see it?
I see it in a very similar way. I think, as Chantal mentioned, ESD needs to expand even further, its leadership in diabetes by embracing new content. Of course, the comorbidities that accompany diabetes, for example, obesity, cardiovascular or cardiorenal disease, liver disease, also accepting the innovation that comes from new therapeutic opportunities, but also should expand its leadership, I would say, in a geographical way. So trying to be closer to regions in the world that look at ESD as a reference. And of course, they could benefit from the activities of ESD in terms of promoting excellence in research, excellence in medical education, as I mentioned earlier. And so this is something that really expands further, I would say, the boundaries of action of ESD. That I would also agree that for example, the annual meeting is a unique opportunity to have people from all over the world coming and discussing about research and clinical issues. So it's really a challenge. I think also this is even probably made more complex by the fact that we have to consider new tools, new scenarios like artificial intelligence. We have to consider the continuous and the fast pace of innovation in terms of technologies for diabetes. We have to consider potentially also some innovative models of care, especially for the regions in the world that are less developed. And also we have to I think it's very important to try to translate what we discuss, what we promote in terms of knowledge into good practice. So something that really affects in a real way, in a concrete manner, people living with diabetes.
So it's new opportunities, but I think that both of you mentioned the value of the face-to-face. And actually, the two of you have been working face-to-face, actually side by side for quite a long time. So I assume that you have been studying each other, learning from each other, knowing each other. So I'm curious, what is your reciprocal impression? So Francesco, how would you describe Chantal?
This is the most difficult question, Stefano. But anyway, I actually I appreciate the question because it provides me with the opportunity to state how Chantal is really an inspiring leader. She has a true vision of science and care. She's actually, I think, a unique example of how you can combine qualities in science, being a rigorous scientist, being an excellent physician, and also someone with a remarkable humanity. She knows how, I think, to evaluate, to judge people, which is, of course, very, very important, especially in a leadership role. And I would finally add that she has a special sense of humor that can always challenge you. So when she says just those few words, those are always very sharp, and you have to think about it. And you keep thinking about what she said, and probably you will be even evolving because of what she has said to you. So I have had a unique and very pleasant opportunity, although challenging, to work closely with her and to experience all these qualities.
So Chantal, this is not an exchange of compliments. Tell us, what you see about Francesco and what is your experience with him.
My gut reaction to this question is Francesco and I could not be more different. But actually, it's not true. I think yes, we are different in temperament in that, I'm loud and sometimes I speak before I think, and Francesco is a gentleman and, he's kind and he's, he thinks before he speaks. That's his big asset. He's well prepared in meetings, and I really appreciate that. But when I think about it, we're not so different. I think we both share this passion to do good and rigorous research and to use this research to advance the field of diabetes. That is really where I believe we have such a good leader. The fact that he will be a calm, well-prepared person, but sharing the core values of EASD that I know I and you also shared, Stefan.
And let me just add, that I had the opportunity to know Chantal and Francesco since a long time and to work with them. And I am very honored to list them as among my best good friends. So this is a great opportunity again. But Chantal, let me go back to you. Let's talk a little bit about your presidency. You coming to the end of your mandate. If you look back at your term, is there any specific that you think that you have been achieving, or any challenge that we've been able to really face and to make you proud of?
Yeah, again, as you know, Stefano, you built on what people before you built, and I built on what you started. So I'm proud of everything we did around education. Twist our big tanker. We steered it already towards this blended learning with in face-to-face meetings, face-to-face education, and virtual features. So that to me is very important. The fact that we were able to carry our flagship journal, Diabetologia, to higher and higher levels of impact. And by impact, I do not mean just the impact factor, but really Diabetologia but has even more become one of the leading journals in our domain. And then the launch of our new sister journal, Metabologia, where I also have very high expectations in the very near future. As said, this growing globalization of the EASD. We do have the E, the European, where we are proud of, but we're open. We are European, but the whole world can join, and testimony of that are meeting, this growing community, the Global Council, this community we have created, this collaboration, and then also the launch of this Young Academy. It's not Young Academy, it's Early Career Academy. I always call it young, but to really get the next generations into diabetes research, I believe is crucial. And there I'm perhaps even most proud of that we see this influx of the next generation.
No, but Chantal, I think the entire community has realized, how much you have done, how much you have achieved, and how much you have helped the EASD to really grow and continue to grow. And really, on the name of the community, I would also to thank you. But Francesco, you are the incoming president. Starting January the 1st, it will be on you. So let me ask you, what you're going to really try to pursue throughout your presidency? What's a new direction or approaches you are considering?
Well, Stefano, first of all, let me say that, as you already highlighted very, very effectively, that Chantal, you and the other presidents before you have done really an incredible job in shaping EASD's growth, also through challenging times like the one of the COVID pandemic. So now what I can see, I can build on is really an organization which is stronger, is better organized, is really perceived as a reference for a very large community of researchers and clinicians that deal with diabetes worldwide. And so this is something that, of course, is an enormous treasure that I think it's, first of all, it's important to be preserved and potentially, of course, further strengthened for the future. So at the same time, of course, one can think of adding or considering some new activities or new features of the organization. As EASD, we fund, we support research, which is carried out by individual researchers and sometimes by some small groups. But we do not generate, as an organization, research data, and we are still not too effective, I guess, in translating the knowledge into clinical practice. So I think these are two important challenges that we should consider for the future, as well as trying to further, of course, build on the activities that promote the generation of the guidelines and consensus documents, which should be further spread and further appreciated in the community, not only in the community of scientists or clinicians, but really be considered as a body of evidence that shapes clinical practice. We also should try to find a way to see how much these guidelines are really translated into good practices, especially again in regions of the world in which this is more difficult to be done. Another aspect that I would like to potentially further strengthen for the future is the collaboration with the organizations of people with diabetes, and also to think about some common initiatives. Of course, this is, for example, a way to make the program of the annual meeting more attractive and more to the point, because if we get the input not only from scientists or from clinicians, but also from patients' organization, we could potentially provide some solutions, some messages that are more, I think, of interest to the widest community of stakeholders. It would be nice also to strengthen the partnership with industry, not only, of course, through the support that they provide, which is, of course, extremely valuable, and we should always be grateful and very attentive to that, but also through common initiatives in terms of training to research, training to good practices. I think the industry, of course, has a lot to offer in terms of, for example, high level of technology, high level of science, drug development. And I think this could benefit the scientific community that is around EASD. So I think these are just some ideas of how the already very diversified and rich activities of EASD could potentially be further expanded.
Francesco, thank you. It looks to me that you have a very good vision into the future. Actually, talking about the future, what is going to be the future of Chantal? Because Chantal, in Vienna revealed, that she likes the gardening, tending the roses. So you think that the future will be just, gardening and tending the roses, or there will be still, an opportunity for Chantal to keep, some attention to the EASD and the EASD activities?
Oh, it will be all gardening and my grandchildren. No, I mean, I'm not retiring, Stefano. So, no, first of all, I will, of course, continue to be a clinician in the University Hospital here in Leuven, and also continue to do research. But at a certain age, I have really progressed more and more to mentoring, the next generations. And that's a thing I really want to do, namely guide the next generation, intelligent, bright, young people who want to enter in diabetes research, diabetes clinical care. And that's really something that is very close to my heart. Also, EASD has mentoring programs where I want to continue to be active. And of course, also EUDF, because the European Diabetes Forum that we founded many, many years ago now is crucial in pushing diabetes on the agenda of the politicians in Europe for research, but also for implementation of everything we find in our research. So there I will use the opportunity of the fact that I'm based in Belgium to really stand on the door mantle of the politicians to pound in diabetes. And I believe we have been quite successful in the cardiovascular plan, but we have a lot of work to do. So EUDF, mentoring research, I want to help contribute to the cure of type 1 diabetes. As you know, we are able now to detect it in early stage, to delay it, and hopefully one day to cure it. And then, of course, also to, as said, as a clinician, to continue to improve the lives of those living with diabetes. So not done yet, Stefano. So I hope to have a good health and continue my work in the next year.
I was sure that you'll be able to keep yourself busy, and we are happy that you will be able to do so. But you like tending roses, but I'm wondering, what does Francesco like doing in his free time, if any?
Well, Stefano, as you know, I like to be in the summer snorkeling and sailing with my boat as much as possible. Of course, this is only during a definitive time of the year, not throughout the year. So I try to spare time for that moment during the summer. So I guess in August, when a lot of people in Europe are starting to work again, I will be on vacation in Sardinia on the boat and snorkeling.
Very good. Now, let's just come to the end of this conversation, but I'd really like to ask you a few questions, but you have to fire back without much thinking. So it'll be just a sentence, and you have just to complete the sentence. Francesco, the EASD annual meeting in a word.
I think I can say was warmly inspiring.
Chantal.
Feast of science.
Chantal, the future of diabetes research is?
Collaboration, cure, disease modification.
Francesco.
Prevention and a definitive cure.
Francesco, one tradition the EASD should never lose.
To celebrate outstanding research and innovation.
Chantal.
Scientific rigor, seriousness, without being boring.
Francesco, what is going to be the EASD in 20 years from now?
Well, I hope it will be a broader community. In 20 years, I hoped we'll have already found a way to, I shouldn't say eliminate diabetes, but definitely prevent it to a higher extent and cure people with type 1 diabetes.
Chantal.
Fully agree. I think it will be a completely new face of diabetes, and EASD should already now prepare to reorient itself. It will be a different group of diseases.
And you guys voided my last question was, will be able to cure diabetes? And I think that you already sort of answered that. Now, it is the end of the year. Usually this is the time of messages, purposes, wishes. So what message would you like to really send to all the EASD members, to the diabetes research community, and in particular to the young investigator? Francesco, what's your end of the year or start of the year message?
Well, I would say that EASD really values the power of collaboration and to openly exchange scientific information. So this is something that we should always continue to be doing with researchers, with the research community, and also in terms of clinicians dealing and sharing the issues that are related to diabetes care. We should, at the same time, always try to pursue the highest standards possible in whatever we do. Research, patient care, organizing clinical settings. And so this is something that I would really, try to emphasize and hope that we can have the highest level of collaboration on these goals. To young investigators and young clinicians also, I would also say that diabetes research remains one of the most dynamic and inspiring areas. And obviously, we need, the ideas of the young people. We need your ideas, your energy, the creativity are really essential. And I hope that more and more young people will join, EASD, not only to celebrate outstanding research, but especially to create this warm, inspiring environment, which I think is something that can be extremely useful for many other individuals working in diabetes. So I would say we need you.
And your message, Chantal?
Well, you hear what I said about Francesco being much more reflective. He's so much better than I am in voicing this. My reaction when you ask me what do I wish for all of us for 2026 and the next years, it's good health, so that we have good brains that allow us to do excellent research. I wish all of us fun also in doing this research, so that you feel rewarded in advancing the field. Stay serious, stay critical. Do not follow hypes. Follow your own data. Talk to each other, collaborate, don't sit on an island, learn from each other. Good health, good brains, lots of fun, and, cure diabetes through research.
Yeah, Chantal, Francesco, thank you very much for this this message. I think, it's a very important one. I really like very much the idea that we need to collaborate, that we need really to team up, that we need to really not get into isolation, because this is the only way we can really face, what is the world is bringing to us. And actually, If I can add a little bit of my own experience in the EASD, you, Chantal, mentioned it, is the environment, is the atmosphere, is the family, is the opportunity to meet with the people, to exchange ideas, to get an established networking, collaboration, confrontation. So I really like to support the invitation that Francesco just made. Become a member of the EASD, get involved in diabetes for a very simple reason. There are too many people out there with diabetes that require our participation, activity, and collaboration. Chantal, Francesco, thank you very much for this conversation and even more for your dedication to the ESD. Chantal, I don't need to say how your presidency has set an incredible trajectory. And Francesco, now this is on your shoulder, but I'm sure you know that you'll be able to build on what has been done before and lead the ESD into a new, exciting next phase. It is a bright future, the one we are looking at. To my fellow members of the ESD watching, first of all, thank you for watching, but I also can assure you that you are in excellent hands. The future of diabetes research is bright and is going to be a surprise after another till we come to the end of it, which will be the cure of diabetes. And the ESD role in shaping that future has never been more vital. Thank you, Francesco, again. Thank you, Chantal, very much. Thank you, members of the ESD. Thank you, people watching this conversation. And to all of you, my best personal, warmest wishes for the Christmas season and for a very bright and exciting 2026.